All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What's up, everybody? All my people in Manhattan, the Bronx, especially for this video. Shout out to all my people in Queens, all the way out to Staten Island, and my home borough, Brooklyn. Back out with another video. And today marks the 30th anniversary of the release of the legendary hip-hop album, The Infamous, by the legendary 1990s New York hip-hop duo, Mobb Deep, consisting of Prodigy and Havoc. You see a young Prodigy standing there in the striped shirt, standing right next to his man Havoc. These two first met in high school in the early 1990s and bonded over their mutual love of hip-hop and decided that's what they were going to do with their lives. They were going to be rappers. At first, they went by the name of Poetical Prophets because Havoc at the time leaned towards more alternative hip-hop, which was a burgeoning style of hip-hop at the time thanks to the legendary hip-hop group A Tribe Called Quest. And it was actually Q-Tip who helped get Prodigy and Havoc into the industry. So they changed their name from Poetical Prophets to Mobb Deep because they decided they wanted to do hardcore, more gangster rap. In 1992, they signed to 4th and Broadway Records and released their first single, Peer Pressure. You see Prodigy and Havoc walking around the projects with pickaxes. In 1993, they released their debut album, Juvenile Hell, which had no success at all, and they were subsequently dropped from 4th and Broadway Records, but Mobb Deep didn't give up. They signed to Loud Records and got to work on their next album, The Infamous. The first single from The Infamous was Shook One's Part 2, which to me, I've stated in the past, is the greatest hip-hop song of all time. Shook One's Part 2 is the greatest hip-hop/rap song of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I did a video 2 years ago to commemorate the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. I did 5 top 10 lists. One of the top 10 lists I did was my top 10 greatest hip-hop/rap songs of all time, and Shook One's Part 2 topped my list. I mean, there are a lot of great songs. I Gave You Power by Nas, Who Shot You by Biggie, My Mom Playing Tricks on Me, The Ghetto Boys, Dead Presidents 2 by Jay-Z, Jesus Walks by Kanye West, Cream by Wu-Tang Clan. A lot of great songs. A lot of history of hip-hop. But to me, nothing gets better than Shook One's Part 2. I mean, the beat is classic, their flow, their delivery, not one whack bar from Havoc or Prodigy. And Prodigy's verse is one of the greatest verses in the history of hip-hop to me. I mean, this man came out the gate spitting fire. I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. My mob comes equipped with warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who want to profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. God damn. Talk about some hardcore street shit. Classic, and of course we all know the hook. Son, they shook. Because there ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death, scared to look. The success of Shook One's Part 2 helped lead to the album's success. The album was released, and it was instant classic in New York. All throughout hip-hop. Thanks to Shook One's Part 2 and other songs such as Survival of the Fittest. We live in this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. See the video with Prodigy and Havoc, and also had cameos from Nas and others from the Queensbridge Projects. Then they released the following single, Temperatures Rising, featuring Crystal Johnson, and Give Her the Goods, Just Step, featuring Big Noyd. I mean, if you've never heard The Infamous, go listen to it right now from start to finish. It is a certified classic of hip-hop. And other great songs such as Eye for an Eye, Your Beef Is Mine, featuring Nas and Raekwon, The Start of Your Ending, 41st Side. Like I said, Give Up the Goods, Just Step, featuring Big Noyd. Queens Get the Money, Long Time No Cash. Right Back At You, featuring Big Noyd, Ghostface Killer, and Raekwon the Chef. The album, like I said, was an instant classic, and Lord Jamar stated in an interview years ago with Vlad TV that it was Mobb Deep and not Biggie that helped re-energize hardcore East Coast hip-hop. That during this time period it was known as the East Coast Renaissance. It all started with Wu-Tang Clan in 1993, and then in 94 you had Nas and Biggie drop their debut albums. Wu-Tang had their style, Nas had his kind of conscious style, Biggie had his kind of smooth R&B, but also kind of hardcore shit. But it was really Mobb Deep because the whole album straight through was just hardcore, cold, gritty New York hip-hop. And that it was Mobb Deep that helped re-energize the hardcore hip-hop scene in the 90s, not Biggie. And let's read this. Upon its release, The Infamous achieved notable commercial success, debuting at number 18 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and number 3 on the top R&B/hip-hop albums charts. On February 21st, 2020, the album was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. The album produced 4 singles: Shook Ones Part 2, Survival of the Fittest, Temperatures Rising, Give the Goods, Just Step. The first 3 singles achieved varying degrees of chart success, with Shook Ones Part 2 being the most successful, of course. Like I said, greatest hip-hop song of all time to me. The album's dark style, defined by its evocative melodies, rugged beats, and introspective lyrics concerning crime in New York's inner-city neighborhoods, received special recognition and critical praise. Along with albums such as Enter the Wu-Tang, Illmatic, and Ready to Die, the Infamous is widely considered as a major contributor to the East Coast Renaissance. I said that. Furthermore, the album is credited with helping to redefine the sound of hardcore hip-hop, using its production style, which incorporated eerie piano loops, distorted synthesizers, eighth-note hi-hats, and sparse filtered bass lines. In 2020, the album was ranked 369th on the Rolling Stones updated list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. I also did a top 10 list, my top 10 hip-hop albums of all time, and I had I had the Infamous at number 10. To me, it's a top 10 album ever. No, I think it should be top 10 on anybody's list, any hardcore hip-hop head list, but that's just me. See, there's Raekwon, Nas, and Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep became instant superstars. Not Juvenile Hell. It was the Infamous that made Mobb Deep hip-hop superstars. And, of course, Queensbridge legends, although we all know Prodigy's not born and raised in the Queensbridge projects like Havoc and Nas were, but, hey, it made him a Queensbridge legend. Of course, there's Raekwon as well. After this, Mobb Deep continued to release other classic albums such as Hell on Earth in 1996 and Murder Music in 1999. Cementing their legacy is, to me, one of the greatest hip-hop duos of all time. But that's just me. And the Infamous, like I said, one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever. Shook Ones Part 2, the greatest hip-hop song ever. Happy 30th anniversary, and rest in power Prodigy, of course, who passed away in 2017 due to complications from sickle cell. His legacy of hip-hop will live on forever through his work with Mobb Deep and, of course, his solo work. But, anyway, that being said, again, guys, tell me what you think about the album. Is it a top 10 hip-hop album ever? Is it in your top 5? Do you agree with me that Shook Ones Part 2 is the greatest hip-hop song of all time? If not, tell me what you think it is in the comments section down below. Go check out my other videos, my top 10 greatest hip-hop songs and top 10 greatest hip-hop albums of all time. Don't forget to click like button, subscribe, how your brother grow on YouTube. Shout out to Mobb Deep and all my people in Queens. I'm going to see you all.